Welcome to the New Living Expo. The next speaker we have is Ivonne Delaflore. She is the president of an international school of futuring, CEO of Delaflore Teachings Incorporated, a spiritual-based coaching and consultation company servicing leaders. Ivonne is an author of 17 books, a mother, film and TV producer, public speaker, and mediator for more than 20 years. Please welcome to the stage, Ivonne.
Hello, I just want to make sure that you can hear me. And I'm going to be sharing my screen for a moment. It's such an honor to be here. I have butterflies in my stomach because, I've been following this event before the years previously, and I cannot even believe that I'm here right now, being able to share. But it's such an honor to be with whoever is here that I cannot see, and hopefully I can share my screen. But let me just share my screen for a moment, your entire screen. Share. Let's see if I.
So at the bottom of your screen, it will have stop video, mute, and share screen with a little icon that has a computer on it. You're gonna press that, and then it will share your computer screen.
Okay. And then I just click on the computer screen and share.
Yep, exactly. You'll pick.
And then I just do this minimum, right? I minimize this.
Yes, it will have your picture up on the top corner, and then so you won't see anyone in the audience, but everyone will see you. And then once you're done sharing the screen, hit the same button that you did to share your screen to exit out of it, or you can press escape on your.
The good thing, Ashley, is that I know the content. So if something goes off with this, I'll just share it.
Perfect.
I'll just share it. So I'll just try to share. Oh, I see what you're saying. And can you see now my presentation or no?
Yes, I can.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
So welcome. Welcome everyone. My name is Ivonne Delaflore. And yes, all good?
All good.
Ashley, on your side? Okay, so my name is Ivonne Delaflore. I'm originally born from in Mexico City, and this is important for what I'm going to share. My topic today is the future of business is isness. I'll talk about what isness is. I'll talk about how isness has helped me not only survive many times from very catastrophic sort of way things, but also how it has helped me thrive in humanity. And with 2020 being such a year of contractions, of such a year, I call it, for those who have birthed children, there is a contraction that is called the Braxton Hicks, where the contractions come before the child is born, and where it feels so stiff, so strong, so intense. And I take 2020 as something like that. But I'm a futurist, as the beautiful Ashley introduced me. I've been a futurist. I'm a spiritual teacher, but I'm also a futurist, which is kind of a paradox, right? Because I teach about being present in the moment, but also being future oriented. I'm also the creator of a system called Transcendental Rebirthing. I've been doing family constellations. I'm a clinician on family constellations for more now than 13 years. I'm a TV and film producer of conscious content, author, mother, mindfulness teacher, and life mastery mentor. And I wanted to talk about isness because I am experiencing in my life through 2020 and through all my students, clients, family, the importance that this is going to have for anyone that has survived 2020 to thrive in the years to come in humanity. I predict that anybody that has the access to their central nervous system and mastery over it, anyone that has been a meditator for the past 20 years, 10 years, 5 years, or even though you just started, have higher probabilities to thrive in finances, in spirituality, in health, in business, in what's coming to humanity than anyone else that is just fear-based, survival-based, and that is just bias-based, that is in a state of emergency. So isness, through the Merriam-Webster dictionary, it says very simple, what is it, right? I'm trying to bring spirituality into a practical way of experiencing and embodying it. Isness is the fact that a thing is. I wish that 2020 didn't happen, but it happened. It happened. I wish that many tragedies in my life didn't happen, but they did. But when I take isness as a premise of, okay, I know what I have, I know what I'm living, I know the scars that I'm having, I know what there's the challenges that I'm having, then I have the opportunity to make a choice. What type of life do I want to create? What type of business I want to serve? What type of offerings I want to bring to humanity? It helps me. The fact it helps me make a decision who I want to be the next moment, who I choose to be. I don't have to be the history of my past, but I can use my past as a reference, the past of 2020 as a reference, and bring it into a perspective that will help me use it as fuel to move forward. So, isness, the fact that a thing is. I'm not going to fight with reality. One of my teachers, Byron Katie, always says that when you fight with reality, you lose only 100% of the time. So isness is that the ability to see what is, the ability to experience what is, and also be a creator, someone that chooses its reality in a more conscious way. So a little bit about me, and this is me at 17 years old. I went through a near-death experience where I was dead. I lost an arm and almost a leg. And I'm not sure because I cannot see you in the camera, but if you can see my arm, I recovered the arm, I recovered the leg, and I recovered my life. My arm was reattached. They sewed it back. And I'm not sure if you can see it, but it was sewn back. I was able, this girl of 17 years old, this is my past self that I brought to you here because I owe her this future self that I have become today. And this 17-year-old who was in the passenger car seat of a car at 17, which we had a impact. It was a car accident. The door caught her arm, and I'm kind of, I know it's me, but it caught her arm. And what she did, what I did back then, it's I didn't panic. I never entered into a state of emergency. And when I saw that I didn't have an arm, this girl picked it up from a back seat of a car. Simultaneously, my leg was out of my jeans. I was wearing jeans, denim, and I could see my femur, pretty beautiful. I make fun right now, but when that accident or incident was happening, is isness, the state of the fact that I knew this was happening, that helped me not enter into emergency mode, into survival mode for some reason. And I have a couple of clues on why. I'm 49 years old now. I just turned 49 2 days ago. But this was 17, right? And I never entered into a survival aspect. My amygdala was not hijacked. For some reason, isness helped me be so present in that moment that I was able to pick the arm back of the seat of my car. I knew my leg was out, and I was seeing all these lights in the car, and all my focus in that moment was being present in the moment. I remember touching my arm, not feeling it. I was like, okay, if I don't have an arm, immediately my mind created a plan. I'm going to do public speaking, and here I am with you all. I'm going to serve students. That was my goal of public speaking. Go to schools and tell them to always wear their seatbelt in their car because it did help me live. And I'm going to tell them to focus on helping others. And the reason why this was happening back then is because the person that was driving my car was unconscious. She didn't have broken bones or things like what I was experiencing, but she was unconscious. And my first thought when I was there was not that I didn't have an arm. That was a fact. I don't have it. If I lose it, I will, I will make it through. I don't have a leg right now. My leg is out. I don't know if I'm going to be able to walk. But if I can walk and I'm on a wheelchair, what am I going to do? But the highest thought in that moment was, how can I not have someone dying under my watch? So all of that couldn't have happened without isness. I started meditating at the age of 12. out of my mother have been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. I didn't start meditating like many meditators or spiritual teachers, but a illumination moment or a moment of grace. Mine was because I read in a book that was left in my bedroom, many books. My mother put her selection of spiritual books in my room. And one of them was Swami Vivekananda from the Vedanta tradition. And when I open it, says meditation can help heal. And I thought, if I start meditating, I focus, that's the first time that I heard the word isness, I may be able to heal my mother. So I started meditating at 12. And the cumulative practice of that, my mom died years later, but the cumulative practice of that, the universal laws, there's a law of accumulation, helped me when I was 17 survive and thrive. It was isness. It was the fact that I had access to the present moment that helped me really thrive. And so here I am. This picture that you are seeing right now is exactly when I came out of intensive care. You can see my eyes. It's like I have no clue how this must have been really my ego, because I was a very passionate teenager. I was already in leadership positions in my school in Mexico. Remember that, and I'm wearing a facial mask after intensive care. I don't even know how I was able to be in that isness. I cannot move my leg right there. You cannot see my arm. It was reattached. It took 2 years for recovery of that. Actually, my doctors won an award because it was the first arm reattached nerve by nerve, muscle by muscle. So I'm thriving, right? I survived it. And my near-death experience, it was, that's a topic for another time. It was what truly taught me about being present and about loving life and about not fearing death, death of the old, death of what was, death of the normal, right? And it helped me begin to emerge, which is a word that I want to share with you all today. And I'll be watching my time. So isness, this concept, this principle of spirituality that I'm bringing to you, which is the fact that things are, but they don't have to stay as that. We can transform, we can move forward if we are present in our lives. So how did it help me thrive? How did it help me move from survival, from creating a story of victimization, from creating a story of poor me, look what happened to me, look at the accident? Actually, I rarely thought about that. My main concern, you know what it was? My father, because he had recently just bought me that new car that my friend was driving that there, and we crashed. And all I was thinking, oh my gosh, the car my father gave me, that it cost him so much work, so much money for him to be able to give it to me. I was thinking of my friend. The last person I thought was me. And that's what I think I really survived. I also had an experience of God. I had an experience of God telling me, in a way, in my own consciousness, you have another opportunity. Don't waste it. So I'm a believer that I'm here on earth, obviously now for two times in a row. I have the opportunity to have two birthdays like not other people have. I had a near-death experience, which one of my teachers, Baron Katie, told me, "Sweetie, you didn't have a near-death experience. You had a near-life experience." But I had that experience when I was 17 on November 11 of 1989, which it was the very well-known harmonic convergence of the planets. I always share this in case there's someone highly spiritual or highly connected to the planet. So I kind of, it was the special effects of God for my life that moment were on point. So how did it help me thrive? I'll share with you in a moment. Through easiness, I found, number one, my priority in everything I do, everything I create, even if it's Instagram, business, my children, spirituality, marriages, divorces over here, etc., is God. God became my priority the day that I died, which is like a paradox, right? Instead of me going to heaven to meet God, I met heaven through a second opportunity. I met heaven through the challenge. I met God. I met more easiness, more peace, more inner stillness through the storm, through the challenge that is. And so 2020, I think, has been a collective kind of near-death experience for all of us. So now I have a duty to begin to share this message that I've waited for so many years. Because as a mother of three, I chose to homeschool my children. I knew I've been married twice, divorced twice. I've been having lots of mistakes, lots of failures, but I knew in my heart since I was young that I had to wait until I was like 48, 49, or 50 to start sharing my message. I really wanted to dedicate my time and energy to my children. I really wanted to dedicate my experience, even though I kept serving. I kept being a spiritual teacher in my communities in Latin America and creating a lot of things that I'm about to share with you. Hopefully, not to brag, but to give you inspiration and hope that, I'm from Mexico. I came from what is called a middle class family. I had a car accident in the remote place in Mexico City, and I've been able to create things that I only attribute them to God. I only attribute them to God and to this principle of isness. So where there is isness, there God is. Creation is the giving of isness from God. And that is why God becomes where any creator creature expresses God. So my first focus became God. My obsession became God realization, self-realization in everything I do, not only in parenting, in relationships, in business. When I tell you an obsession, that cost me a marriage. It was like I need to wake up at 3 to meditate 3 hours. I need to do everything. New Year's, I don't want to go party. I want to write a book. I want to do a philanthropy. It became such an obsession. I'm God's obsessed in a way that it became a no-brainer, and not a second thought, where illness became like a moral duty for my soul. And now that I'm heading to my 50s, that I'm headed to deeper service, which was inspired by Louis Hay. When I was younger, and people would tell me, go out, Ivonne, publish your books, do this, do that. I read a story of Louis Hay that said that she started her business at 74, 75 years old. That gave me hope. I was like, oh, if that is in the future, that's in the future for me. I'll start at 50. So I've been serving my community for 31 years, regardless. But it's this isness, this God, this focus of being present in the moment that has helped me create everything. And I'm going to show you a little bit of what I've created. And then I'll share with you a formula that I received to tap into this isness when I was dead or when I had that near-death experience that day in 1989. So these are a couple of things that I've been able to create. I published 17 books. This is a book called Invitation to Love. The foreword was written by Doreen Virtue, a friend of mine. I'm about to launch this documentary film called The United State of Mind, and you can see incredible teachers here: Alan Cohen, Barbara Max Hubbard, Bentino Massaro, Richard Roth. We were able to film Ram Dass, and incredible teachers. This Mexican that died in a car one day, that had no arm, no leg, has been able to accomplish that. Below here is a network for television, conscious television, philanthropic. It's all philanthropy, okay? It's all philanthropy, called Network for Human Empowerment, that I honestly tell you, God put this image in my heart. Create a network television. We were able to create it. This is where on Roku Television is philanthropic, is for Latin America. I've been able to create movements of faith that went viral out of just doing a Facebook live stream. I've been able to be a mother of three. This is one of my young little teachers. This is my third child. All of them have been homeschooled. This is one of my books, as I shared. I've created nonprofits, helped teachers all over the world for more than 20 years, and I continue to do so. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is because, again, I come from a country, from a third world class mentality, from a car accident where people said, you're not going to make it. What are you going to do? You're not going to keep an arm. You're not going to be able to walk. every single thing you see here created, you're never going to be able to have a relationship. Twice divorced, darlings. Twice divorced. I'm not a promoter of divorce whatsoever. This film, these conscious movements that we've been able to create, all philanthropic, I attribute this to a higher power, to the power that isness really has to create movements. This is what Gandhi tapped into to build the liberation of India. He was able to create the first war in the world by fighting with ahimsa, by fighting with peace, no weapons. So that has to be the force of isness. That has to be a higher power, a higher intelligence that operates us all, that is breathing me right now, that is breathing you right now. And I hope that my message gives you even more hope. I hope that whatever dream you have, you begin to really tap more into that isness, into that presence of your beingness, that you are stop being afraid of the storms, become the storm and own the calm in you. And so, how have I been able to accomplish these things and even more? There was three things that I really learned from death. It's interesting that my teacher of life has been death, right? That my teaching for thriving has been failure. That my teacher for helping others has been me being alone. That my teaching for coming out of the mud, coming out of the tragedy has always been the tragedy itself. It's kind of spiritual homeopathy. When homeopathy works and you get healing from the same, if you get bitten by a bee, the homeopathy is from the sting of the bee, they do homeopathic remedy from the same poison, you get healed. And so I've been healed by the poisons of my life experiences. And I believe 2020 has that potency, has that medicine for all of us who choose to do so, to move forward. But the more isness we have, the more powerful creations we will all create and co-create. So this is a three-step formula that after years and years of maturing, I had to mature. I had to go through so much spiritual ego. I had to go through so much. I had been trained by incredible teachers, live with them, travel to India, all of these incredible experiences. So I have gone through a lot of self-polishing and soul search that I'm sure anyone here has gone through. And this three steps formula finally came to me just a couple of years ago, and I'm able to share it now with embodiment. Before, I will have shared it from my mind, trying to convince you, trying to just give you something, trying to sell you into something, and just trying to be cool, trying to be spiritual. And now I really, I'm not sure if you can hear me, but I'm really feeling that these three steps are embodied not only in me, but are going to be able to help others. So the number one is to stay fit. And I'll go with it what fitness represents for me. The second one, which was actually was the first thing that I did when I had a near-death experience, or when my son was diagnosed with autism, or when my daughter almost died from anorexia, or when I had divorce, or when I had deaths in my family, or when I had my grandfather actually had a brain stroke and fell into my arms when I was 12. It's been an incredible, that has been an incredible teacher for me throughout my life. But adaptation to the moment, to easiness, to what was, has been key for me to be able to thrive. And the third step is move from a state of emergency to a very specific word that I'm going to share with you. So this is a three steps formula that the near-death experience taught me about easiness. So number one, and I hope this serves you because I implemented every day. And when I feel in a rut or depressed or sad, I use this and I take myself out of the rut. I have a duty, a moral responsibility with my community. I am aware that I'm an ancestor for my future generations. And so to adapt is a must for me. So number one in adapt, you got to be aware. You got to be aware of what's happening. You got to be aware that this too shall pass. You got to bring meditation into your life now. Meditation is not only anymore a spiritual glamour tool, it's a must, it's a hack, it's something that will keep your brain healthy. We have so much research. I've been for years a transcendental meditator for years, but you can choose your own meditation experience. It's medicine for our brain, for our mind, and for our soul. And nowadays, we need it more than ever. With all the media bombardment, with all the information that we have out there, we got to stay aware who we choose to be and what we choose to become every single moment. So bring awareness into your life. Number two, you got to make decisions. I am such a promoter of making decisions. I rather fail because I made a decision than fail because I didn't make a decision. Because when you have a decision, when you make a decision, they say that when you decide, the universe conspires in your favor, but you have a second agent that will conspire in your favor, and that's you. That's your higher power, your higher self, the CEO of your life. And also, there are a lot of research that when people make decisions, they engage their prefrontal cortex, they engage their parietal lobes, they calm down the amygdala, the fight, freeze, or flight response. And we got to be aware of that. See, awareness is going to keep coming. So I make a decision. If I live in indecision, I'm going to keep bombarding my system with cortisol, with stress, with adrenal exhaustion. I'm going to be so exhausted, and I'm not going to be able to take the number three step, take action. Whatever you can do, whatever you can do now, if you're in lockdown, if you cannot, I couldn't move when I was in that bed. I couldn't move my leg, I couldn't walk, I couldn't move my arm, but I could move my mind. I remember visualizing and imagining all the things I wanted to create into the future, and now it's happening. Now somehow the future is meeting me. The future is like a wave. It's meeting the shore, the beach of my isness, of my experience. But I had to take little actions. So you saw the picture. For some reason in that action, I'm putting a face cream, but you got to take actions that move you forward, even if you are contained in a place that you feel you cannot move. Maybe you cannot go to a gym, but maybe like where we are sitting right now, we can move our neck. Maybe we can, we cannot go to a gym to do weights, but maybe we can, I have a book here, lift a book. Maybe in the little space that we have, we can just walk and breathe. Whatever you can do, do it, because your spirit will thank you for that. And your future that you are going to design, create, and sculpt is going to come to you sooner and in a more better way than you are experiencing it now. Number four, you got to prioritize. If you are not prioritizing now, maybe you're waking up and seeing your emails first. Maybe you're going to sleep and watching the news. I have, and you'll see my formula of fitness. You got to prioritize. My priorities is in the mornings I wake up, I practice tea, I do meditation. I like to start my mornings really calm, really slow. And I even like to prepare for business and everything as calm and as with a no emergency state as possible. You got to prioritize. If I will say for an emergency, prioritize. What's priority? What needs to be done right now? What conversation is necessary right now? What do you really want to focus on? Prioritize. This will help you with the health of your mind. And number five, something that happens is how can you transform a situation? So when I was in that car, I was thinking, oh my gosh, I don't have an arm anymore. I tell you, I don't know if you were able to see it from where I'm at right now, but I didn't have an arm anymore. So I had to transform my mind. I think it's the Bible, and also in the Bhagavad Gita, they have a saying that says, do not conform with the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind. Just feel that for a moment. The renewal of your mind will help you transform. This is what I think. is the attractor of miracles. This is what I think. It brings you unbelievable experiences when you think, when you are analytical and you don't know what you're going to do, something miraculous happens. So, and we can see it in nature. Energy is always transforming, everything is always evolving, and we are part of that nature. So, what I do with this word transformations is I'm always asking questions to myself. If there's a challenge, if there's something really bad going on or terrible going on, I ask, how can this be transformed into a higher power? How can this be transformed into a solution? How can I transform myself through this challenge? So this is all in adapt. It's a little formula. Then I focus on fitness, which is not only the fitness of going to a gym. And I'm going to go a little bit quicker on this in case you guys have questions or you want to learn more. But fitness for me, number one, and this is the fuel of my life. The why in my life is God realization. The fuel in my life is faith, but faith with future orientation. Faith is the ability to believe and to know that the thing you want is there, right? But you cannot see it. And so I stay true to my faith. I have faith that is there. And I stay future oriented while being present in the moment. And what this means is I'm not exiting the now. I'm not going to worry about some moment non existing, but I'm staying oriented to what is my end goal? What is the goal I want to accomplish? Where do we want to get out of here? What do we want? Why are we doing this? Let's keep moving forward. Children are natural futurists. They're always thinking next. They're always thinking what they can accomplish. It's when we become adults, and then all of us, I was very much into just the now, and not future oriented. But then we are trained with biases and logic and analytical processes, and then we begin to paralyze ourselves with our own analysis. My father always says analysis equals paralysis. So I stayed future oriented, present in the moment, and I really use the fuel of my faith. Number two, I stay focused on intention. Intention, Ralph Waldo Emerson used to say, is vested with power. If you live unintentionally, know that you still live with an intention. If you wake up just to survive, that's your intention. Intention is what dresses your soul. And so if I have an intention to be of service to you right now, that's my only focus. I'm not anywhere else. And I'm hoping, and I'm sure that my soul, that at least one person today will be served with this intention. Without intention, we live with tension. We live wondering. We live wandering. We don't set goals. We don't make plans. We don't prepare. And for me, intention is so vested with power, and I'm intentional in everything. Not all of the time. I'm human. I make a lot of mistakes, but intentional in what I shared in social media. Intentional when I pick up the phone with someone. Intentional with you all today. Again, transform. It keeps coming. I focus on transformation. Is what I'm going to do, is what I'm going to serve, is what I'm going to engage in. Does it help transform a situation? Does it help transform our business to the next level? Does it help transform my consciousness? Does it help me transform into a better version of myself that I do want to become every day? 2020 has been a portal for transformation, and for many, a portal of defeat. It depends on our intention that we're going to face this. Number 4, you got to learn your non-negotiables. For me, it's a non-negotiable. I don't see the news. I see the things that I need to be aware of, because I do want to be aware of what is going on. I have a duty with that. Plus, I produce conscious television, so I got to see. But it's a non-negotiable for me at night. I am not going to be watching Instagram and things that just feed the worries of the mind. Worries, prayer, and reverse. So one of my non-negotiables is my mother, who has been dead for a couple of years, can come and tell me, can descend from heaven and tell me, Yvonne, watch the news, did something terrible happen? It's a non-negotiable for me. I'm not going to go to sleep with that. I got to go to sleep with something higher for my brain, because I know that my subconscious mind doesn't go to sleep. At night, I got to prepare for the next day if God grants me the opportunity to live again. So know your non-negotiables. Then focus on your energy. Your health matters. Again, if you don't have health, you have nothing. If you don't have energy, just think of Steve Jobs, the creator of Apple. One of his wishes when he died, it was, I wish people knew, to love more, to spend more time with the people they love, and stop worrying, because without health, you have nothing. So do whatever you can for you. Drink water, add a little bit more of health food in you. Avoid using excuses and justifications on why you don't have this. Be the producer of your life, be the creator of your own energy. Do whatever you can to enhance your health. And then focus on sustainability. What I'm doing right now, is it sustainable? Is this relationship sustainable for the future? Is me watching TV all the time, is this sustainable for the health of my mind? Is what I'm about to share, the gossip I'm going to tell, the judgment I'm going to deliver, is this something that will create me a sustainable transformation? And then source. Stay connected to the source. Stay connected to the present moment. Stay connected to who you are. And the third step of this formula, all again, these I learned from the near-death experience, is you got to focus as soon as an emergency occurs into a state of emergence. And this is something that the late Barbara Max Hubbard spoke beautifully of. But emergence, it just reminds me of the lotus flower, right? It goes through the mud, and then it blooms out of the mud. It blooms out of there. It emerges. It doesn't stay in the state of emergency. We're not going to stay in 2020. We're going to unfold, evolve, and thrive, because that's the nature of evolution. That's the state of the soul. That's the state of the human spirit. The human spirit cannot be locked down, cannot be confined, cannot be suppressed. It will find always a way to emerge. And I love this quote, and I want to share it with you beside this question that I always ask when there's a challenge. Today, I was actually feeling a lot of grief and sadness. I have a lot of students and some people in Australia, some people in California, and they're telling me about the lockdowns or people that they have not been able to contact. And I feel the grief, I feel the pain, I feel the loss. I have my own pain that I carry with me, no matter how much I meditate, no matter how much I serve people, I still carry pain with me, but not the story of suffering. But I always ask, and I did it this afternoon, what wants to emerge? What is the story of my sadness? What does it trying to tell me so that I can emerge and serve others and move forward? And I was able to move out of that state to come, hopefully serve you in a more clear and heartfelt way to you all. And I love this quote: everything must break open in order to live. 2020 has been that. The seed must break open in order for the tree to grow. The seed of humanity. The egg must break open in order for life to emerge. It's the new way of being, the new businesses that are going to emerge. Obviously, we need new politics. I'm not going to talk about it today. New ways of relating, new ways of connecting, new ways of relationship. The earth must be churned and the cloud must burst. You were never meant to stay in your shell. This is isness. This is the future of business. And the most important future of your business is who you choose to be in your endeavors, financial, in your endeavors, spiritual, in your endeavors with other people, and in your endeavors of your life mission of who you came here to experience yourself as the isness of God itself through you. So this is my presentation. I love this quote: organisms are themselves expressions of emergent order and agents of higher levels of emergence. I love this. I believe there's a higher level of emergence right now in humanity, in spiritual teachers, in leaders, in business people. I believe that what is emerging is synarchy more than hierarchy. I believe that brilliant futures are ahead of us and that we are designing them through the state of being that we hold. So again, my name is Ivonne Delaflore, and I hope this served you. If it does, let us know. I leave you an email of one of my companies if you want to reach out. Support at delafloreteachings.com. It's a privilege to have shared with you. So I'm just going to remove now, Ashley, my presentation. Hopefully, I'm going to be able to see you. And hopefully, now I'm back. Not sure if you can see me.
Yes, we can see you. Beautiful presentation. You still have like 17 minutes.
Oh,
So
cool.
you want to do questions or?
Yeah, if there's questions, and then I may be able to guide people through power imagery process. It's kind of like a small meditation from a state of emergency to emergence and easiness. It's from a system called Futuring, and it's power imagery processes where you got a small visualization is little, and it's a macro input to generate a macro output. So depending if you have questions. I see some friends here. Hello, Grace. So if there are no questions.
Does anyone have any questions?
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I don't have a question. I just want to thank you because that was amazing. And that was so inspiring. And I love how this idea of, because I do feel like we're in a state of like we're in this sort of global state of emergency. And I love that idea of like transforming that into the concept of emergence. And so thank you.
Mm.
Thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure, love. Thank you so much for your time.
Sure.
Any other questions or comments?
Any questions about the near-death experience? But a lot of people usually ask me questions about when I was in the car or.
Just what a crazy experience that you went through, and you were obviously meant to be on this earth to help people, and so thank you. Thank you for sharing your experience. That was very beautiful.
Well, if you want me to, I can guide a little futuring journey. It's called the futuring journey.
Yeah.
Into easiness, unless there's any questions, but it doesn't seem like there is.
Hello, Cindy.
Hi. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I just wanted to say I thought it was a beautiful, beautiful presentation. And, it's just goes with the concept of when life serves us lemons, we make lemonade. And I think you truly did that with, how you came through everything and you just had it, you made up your mind that, just moving forward and not to dwell on like, oh, poor me, or, or my life is over. And it just truly very inspirational. I just want to thank you for sharing all that.
I'm so glad. Thank you so much, Angel.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions? You have 13 minutes. So take it
Well,
away.
can you talk a little more about faith and easiness? I'm seeing the chat.
Yes, from Grace.
Grace, she's an incredible singer, by the way. Can you talk a little bit more faith and easiness? Faith for me is not a religious experience. It's a certainty of being. It's a way of knowing, an inner knowing that, things are not only okay, but are going to thrive. Because I am not only a believer of God concept in itself, but I am an evidence that faith exists. I'm an evidence that something, a higher power, wanted me to be here, wanting me to keep the arm. And remember, I don't know if you could see it, but it's all sewed back, wanting me to be sharing today with you all. So I believe in that which I don't see. And that's how I create my businesses. That's how I write my books. I bring from the unmanifest the manifest. And that's how we all came to experience. So faith for me is a state of being, not of thinking. It's a state of feeling and not doubting, not hesitating. It's more what is not than that which is. So, and about isness is just a state of presence. It's a state of what's happening in the moment. Is what Eckhart Tolle calls about this is the now, what is happening now. Um, Not what happened. What happened, I use it as a place of reference, not of residence. What is what tells me where I'm at. And so that's isness for me, to be able to be here now in this moment. Hmm. Oh, right? My gosh, thank you for being here. I genuinely, I'm just being vulnerable and open. I thought, oh my gosh, it's going to be me and Ashley, and then Grace. I really thought it's like, oh, I'm just so honored to be here. It's unbelievable for me, the opportunity just to be here sharing with you all. So,
It's beautiful.
so the what I shared with you in the screen. I'm a creator of a lot of sacred geometry. I've been doing this throughout my life. I've been done through this. I just say, God does it through me, and I get to cater and serve it. So, but I'd like to guide you very quickly, maybe just 5 minutes. I don't know. Do we have to use all of the time, or
You
Ashley?
don't have to use all of the time, but you can leave the session early, but if you can go down to the very last second as well.
All right. So I'll just share a little bit because these futuring exercises, these futuring journeys, they are micro meditations. They are not like 20 minutes or 30 minutes or an hour. They are visual processes that can help us access deeper states of awareness, deeper states, the famous state of flow, without us doing, but allowing ourselves to be guided in the process. So this will be for isness, for increasing our faith, for emerging. It's an exercise, micro imagery to create macro outputs, to take 2020, complete 2020 as spiritual warriors, and enter 2021 as conquerors of ourselves, as self mastery kind of powerhouses. Right. That's what is emerging in humanity right now. That's what the emergency of the world is the call for the hero, to for all of us to emerge. Not all of us are going to emerge. Some of us are going to take that bold stand in leadership. It's going to require a lot of courage, but it's the hero's journey to the next level. Joseph Campbell talked about the hero's journey, but this is going to be the hero's journey of the next level, the heroine's journey. The more than equality is to come together as women and men, to collaborate, to co-create, to work. It's really the era that we've been waiting for. It just was introduced to us in ways that were not expecting. It's the era we were waiting for, but it was introduced to us in ways that we were not expecting. So take it from someone that died, you know, take it from someone that had the experience of the lights and the tunnels and all of that. I'm telling you, the experience of God, the experience of infinite intelligence is not going to let humanity perish. It's not going to let artificial intelligence take over. The more conscious we become, the more aware we behold ourselves, the more we choose to emerge and stop the narrative of the poor me and start the narrative of the yes me, we're all going to emerge far much more powerfully than we can ever imagine. So if you like, close your eyes, loves, It will be a beautiful experience. And I'm seeing some videos. Ariana, is that your name? Thank you so much. I feel your presence over here in camera. So it'll be just 4 minutes or 3, Ashley. So you close your eyes. I'll join you in this. And what we're going to do is something called the reverse breath. Usually, in every spiritual guidance or meditation, you are told, take a deep inhale and then exhale. We're going to do it backwards. Why? Because we want to break the pattern. We want to introduce our mind. Okay, I got this, and I'm going to break my patterns. I'm going to enter into a new experience, and I got this, right? So we're going to exhale through the mouth, inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth, inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth, inhale through the nose. And I invite you to feel, see, touch, and imagine like when you were a child, that you didn't have any bias or belief that you were kinesthetic or auditory or visual. I want you to imagine being in a beautiful place that is so safe for you. A forest, a beach, wherever you want to be, that is so safe for you. There's no threat there for you. There's nothing that can harm you. And in this place, you're going to be walking barefoot to get close to a river. And this river represents the river of time, the river of past, present, and future, simultaneously happening. And there's a beautiful vehicle there, a beautiful vehicle with a beautiful guardian there waiting for you to ride on it. It can be a boat, it can be a ship. Step into it. This vehicle is going to take you to 2021. And it has a GPS, this vehicle, called the Futurenometer. And in that GPS, the coordinates are emergence, awareness, higher consciousness, adaptation, and miracles. And with all that you learned on 2020, with all that you lived in your childhood, preconception, even before you were preconceived, you take that fuel of wisdom and your vehicle takes you into 2021 with grace, self-mastery, and zero defeat. And you are time traveling, carrying the wisdom, carrying the medicine of what you learned before. You are not the narrative of your past. You are not what happened to you. You're an emerging being. You're a futurist of consciousness. You're a creator. And you're not alone. You have a guardian taking you to places you'd never imagined before, but that you know are good for your soul. And so this boat is traveling down the river to 2021, and it's going to come back up the river all the way back to 2020. You're going to step out of your vehicle. You're going to say thank you to this guardian, because we're never alone. We're always guided. You're going to trust what comes, doing your work, staying aware, staying present, being committed and decisive for what you want and do deserve. And you're going to come back to your safe place, barefoot, knowing that anytime you want, you can go into this future vehicle and input in your futurenometer your intentions, the directions of where you want your soul to take you next. We come back to the present moment, this moment of easiness. We exhale, we inhale, and we open our eyes. This is a power imagery process because remember that your subconscious mind doesn't make a differentiation with what you see here on the 3D, right, in reality, or what you are imagining. For your subconscious mind, this is happening. So now you have wired in your central nervous system the possibility, the probability, and hopefully the inevitability that your 2021 is going to be not only great for you, that your businesses are going to flourish, your spirituality too, and you're going to bring a lot of easiness into whatever you choose to do, whoever you choose to be with, and however you choose to manifest yourself as. So thank you everyone so much. Thank you, Ashley, for
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Angels. Thank you, Grace,
Thank
and
you,
everyone,
Ivonne.
Cindy and Ariana, and everyone that was here.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time
That
and
was
for your beautiful
amazing.
message.
All right. Thank you. And you, Ashley, you direct me. I just say goodbye, right?
Yes.
Thank you, everyone.
Yep.
Thank you. Wonderful.
Do you have a booth here, Ivonne? Or it's just
Just a
just a
presentation.
presentation? So if anyone missed any part of the presentation, it is recorded and it will be available for up to 30 days after the event ends on Sunday. So it should be available till January 6th. So if there's any like of a website or anything that you have.
Yes, and so you can check our website. Shall I put it in the chat?
The chat, unfortunately, is not going to save after this
Okay.
minute.
So it's
But I
Delaflore.
can. But if it's in your bio, or
It's in my bio, love.
it's in your bio. So as long as it's in your bio, they can get in contact.
And I'm on all social media channels.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Blessings to you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Hey, just I tried to get into the like talk or whatever with all of us.
Which one? Oh yeah.
The
One at 6 o'clock?
Yeah, but because I was in session 2 already, it would not let me get in, and I was trying to just do it on my iPad. But because I think I was in session 2 already, it wasn't allowing me to click into it.
Well, your name wasn't in the.
Oh. Yeah. So at like 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock, there was one lady that could not get her camera to work. Krista Reynolds or something. She couldn't get her camera. So I was talking to Tony pretty much. Vivian was my first one. I mean, it was kind of a disaster, to be honest, just because it was the very first one, and at first she was having like I could hear her, but it was super muffled, and so then she ended up switching to like a pair of headphones. She had like a microphone, and I was like, it's too much sound going on, so it took off like she had like first of all, she had 2 different pages up, like 2 different pictures that I could see on her page, and her sound wasn't working, and then I wasn't the one. I didn't have access to like do everything, like to mute everyone and to stop everyone's video. I didn't have that at first. Yeah, I got in with just the link that you sent me. And then, like, halfway through the show, through the presentation, Tony was like, refresh your screen and then you should have access. So I don't even know, to be honest, if that one got recorded fully. Because Tony's like, oh, I'm gonna record it. I'll record it manually. And then, but halfway through, I don't know if that other one got recorded. So I was talking to Tony for like an hour in the information booth about Loom. And so then my next person that I was going to use Loom on, and I started to do it, but it totally bogged down my computer and it completely froze it up. Like Loom did. Yeah, like I wasn't, because I just wanted, because I had Loom up. I went through all of everything with Tony. I set up an account and everything like that, and I went to record it, and it was all fine. But then it's because he had like Dr. Wallach. Oh yeah, I did not. I didn't put any credit card information or anything. But I just don't know. I don't still know if it's going to be able, because like halfway after like, so the free Loom that I did record it on, it was playing for like at least 5 minutes, and it had only no. I'm saying like the presentation was 5 minutes, but if it said it only recorded like a minute of it, because I think it was so bogged down, and maybe just my computer itself, because like I can see what my internet percentage is on, and usually it's on 100%. Yeah, I don't know, like, and I just don't I don't think it's a I for like yeah. Yeah. manually do it. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much I didn't have any control over the room. I didn't have any control over anything. It was just like, what's your name that you want to go in? And I was like kind of freaking out because I'm like, I mean, like, so this old wallet guy, he's like 85 years old. He can't see the questions. And so I asked him ahead of time, like before I started recording the screen reading, I'm like, so some of the speakers have me read the questions for you, or do you want to just read them directly off the screen? He's like, I can't see it. But one problem is he was talking so fast, like so incredibly fast, Dad. Yes, he was talking like, you have to do this, you have to do that, and people were putting in the chat like, can you have him slow down? Like people were asking him like different questions of like different diagnoses that they've had. Yeah, like I don't. Well, so I started recording it on Zoom, but I also hit the record button on Venmo. So I hit the. I don't know. Well, like the little icon goes up, but what Tony says is like so when you press record through session, it pops up on the left hand side of the up here. It says recording, but then it goes away after a second, but it continues to record. That's what Tony said. But so I don't know if you noticed this, but when you press the record through session, like right after you press it, if you look at that same little box, it says stop recording through session. So then you would have to press that again to stop recording. But yeah, and I don't yeah, and I just don't I just hope that like these recordings, like that was the only one that I tried to do the loom on because I did it for Dr. Wallach, and it didn't work. Like the loom would just it completely froze up my computer. Like I had to, I was like on my iPad trying to log in because I couldn't see the chat. I couldn't see anything. I was talking to Tony like right before that, and she's like, try the, I don't know, but I was in another room. It was at the 6 o'clock. Yeah, that might be a good, yeah, the whole time you're just there to introduce and like at the end. Yeah. I mean, people have to understand like this is the first time, like the first platform that people have been using. Like people have been using Zoom for for months, but this is different completely. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, it's a completely different. It's the same concept, but it's a completely different platform. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, you spend. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it just definitely there needs to be some changes. And like for the most part, I had really good internet connection. Like my internet connection was like 100% pretty much the entire time. I just noticed that my internet connection went down when at the very end, if like the speaker needed me to ask questions, then I turn my video on and my sound off, or my sound on, I mean, then the internet connection would go down, or if like people were leaving or entering the room, then it was going down. But like for the most part, I didn't really have any issues with that. Um, but it was just definitely the first couple were definitely a little bit iffy. But after that, the first one for sure. The second one, Oh my God. Was she? Yeah. 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 Yeah, I saw you on the phone and on the main stage. I was like, "Oh, he's talking to someone." So, I didn't really do it cuz I was like I was trying to yeah, so I actually found a mistake and I told Tony about it. So when you clicked on Yoga with Dan, it went to a Yoga with Adrian video. Wrong one. And so well, I think she just entered because she told me, like, in the information booth when we were talking, she's like, all day yesterday, I was just implementing the videos that needed to play. And she's like, I had four yoga videos to go into 4 different slots. And she was like, I was just confused about them. So I told her about it, like probably at like 4 minutes after the video should have started. And so, but then everything was all fine. And I actually went back to go into the Yoga with Dan video. And then I checked the Yoga with Adrian to make sure that that was good and correct and stuff. And that was good. Yeah, it was all fixed. Yeah, who knows? Yeah, I know. But I thought that Dan would have done like welcome to the New Living Expo, but it was just yeah, yeah, yeah. At least it like gives you it doesn't well and it doesn't like because there's no room person, like it doesn't say how many people are in it or if anyone's yeah. Mhm. So that's kind of I mean, and his was only 30 minutes too. Yeah. 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 I know. Well, I was like, after one of the girls didn't work, I can't remember her name now, Bridget. Um, Tony sent me a message. She's like, meet me in the information booth. And then she was talking to someone on the phone while I was just sitting in the information booth with like my camera on. And she was like teaching someone like how to log in and how to do this. And she's like, I am so frustrated because they could have figured this out days ago and now they're waiting till 5 to half an hour before they're supposed to talk to figure out how they're going to share their screen. And I'm like, so I saw like a little glimpse of what she was dealing with all day. And she was dealing with it really well. Like she was like really patient with the people. Yeah, Tony was really patient and like explaining it really well. But I would like, yeah, yeah, really good. But I'm like, I would just be so frustrated. Wow. Yeah. John was pretty much the only, and I saw like the end of Kimberly Meredith where Julie said,
That's fine.
yeah, I'm done with it. Yeah, there's definitely